Drivers, start your engines!
It's MRN Motorsports Monday, the place for the latest news and loudest opinions, direct from the guys at the track. Presented by Outback Steakhouse. The stories, views, and opinions expressed on MRN Motorsports Monday are not likely shared by anyone, anywhere. Results may vary, so you should talk to your doctor before watching.
What's up, Doc?
Today's episode is brought to you by Hercules Tire.
Pace car is up.
Here's Woody Kane.
Oh, boy, am I glad to see you guys!
I knew you'd come back, Woody.
And Joey Meyer.
Just a reminder, if you're asking me a question on the radio, just keep talking till I answer it for you, all right?
The penultimate MRN Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse of the season. I knew I was gonna fire that one out. You like that, don't you? See?
The funny story behind that.
All right, let's hear it in a minute. But first, the Championship 4 is set in all three national touring divisions for NASCAR. They'll settle it this weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. And this guy and your team will race for a championship despite all the craziness going on this weekend. Somehow, some way, you guys found a way to get there.
Starting on Friday, it was a very calm weekend. Nothing really happened in the truck series to talk about.
No, not at all.
You know, the Xfinity series doesn't have a driver-owner battle going on, and the Cup race really went off without a hitch.
Nothing happened.
No, it was really quiet.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Man, I will tell you what, I was the range of emotions, not just for me, but for our team going into Phoenix after a devastating finish at Homestead, Martinsville, which we really had high expectations for. We really knew 3 races ago going into Phoenix, it was going to be our weak spot of the entire playoffs. Of 9 of those races, Phoenix was the one we had circled that we just needed to get through, assuming we had good enough races and points and wins before that. We set ourselves up to win Talladega. We did. We set ourselves up to win Martinsville. We had a chance to win. We were in a good spot. We all know how that turned out. We went to Phoenix being a little, just nervous because we knew our performance was down a little bit relative to our team. We had no idea the range of emotions we were going to go through yesterday with being up. We start the race ahead in points.
Nice little cushion.
We get to the end of the second stage and we're out because we can't race Denny. Then Denny gets involved with a wreck. He wrecks out, so now we're in. Chase Elliott takes the lead. Now we're out.
Yeah, if he wins that thing, then you're out.
Yeah. And we're up on the roof, and I'm on the roof, and Jason Hedleski, who spots for Matt Kenseth, and I'm patting him on the back and go get that, man. Here's my whip. Here,
go
take
get him.
And Matt Kenseth's able to pass Chase Elliott. Now we're back in again. So we did put ourselves in position all day just to take advantage of somebody else's bad luck. Little did we know it was going to take 2 drivers to have bad luck, with Matt being able to pass Chase and Denny getting into the wall. But at the end of the day, the 2017 season, we've had a successful season. We've had 3 wins. We've been in contention for a win. We feel like one of the guys being able to go to Homestead now, we can compete at the level of Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Martin Truex.
And there you go. We'll settle it this coming Sunday at Homestead Miami during Ford Championship weekend. We've got a big show for you today as well. Daniel Hemric, one of the Championship 4 in the Xfinity Series, will be along. A lot of drama in that race as well. He and Cole Custer right down to the wire battling to see which one of those guys would advance as well. The Truck Series and Kevin Harvick had the top 10 finish, so you get a free
Bloomin' Onion. Here
That's
it is.
Go in and tell them you heard about it on Motorsports Monday.
You should be on lunch right now
you
eating a
Bloomin'
Bloomin'
over
Onion.
there. Yeah, don't be doing that. Go by and get the free stuff. Yeah.
Right now. Should be
Bloomin'
eating.
Monday.
Hope you're watching on your phone because you can do that and sit at Outback.
There you go.
Get a little sirloin cut action and a free Bloomin' Onion to join us.
Absolutely.
You only got 1 more week to do it.
One more week for
One
sure.
more potential
And
week.
speaking of all that, kind of lost in the shuffle of all the playoff drama, Matt Kenseth doesn't have a ride next year and has said, I'm going to step aside for at least next year and see how things shake out. He goes to victory lane. Here's what he told our Winston Kelly there.
Yeah, it's really not describable. With only 2 left, I didn't think we were probably had a good chance of getting back to victory lane. It's been, I don't know how many races somebody's probably going to tell me tonight, but it's been at least 50 or 60. So it's been a long time. We've had a lot of close ones. Just felt like it was never meant to be, and today it was meant to be.
You told me before the race you thought it might have been a 3rd to 6th place car. What happened throughout the race, and what made the difference and enabled you to chase down Chase and get back around him?
Well, and I kept doing them cycles and short runs, and we were a little too tight all day, but we were really pretty happy with it. And when we got in front, we were just too loose, and I got loose on that restart, and Chase got by me. And then as soon as he got by me, it actually made my car better, and I saw him getting loose and starting to slip, so I knew we were going to have a heck of a race.
Given the circumstances, how much sweeter is this win?
It couldn't be any sweeter. I just don't know how else to explain it. Just You always feel like you can get the job done, but if you got a big enough sample size of numbers don't really lie. So we needed to go out and get the job done and get us a win, and we're able to do that today. So we got one more race left, and like I said, great way to go out.
Here you go, Matt Kenseth, and you don't often see much emotion from Matt Kenseth. He's a real even keel kind of guy, a dry sense of humor, but he let it all hang out after that race and was apparently a laugh riot in the media center afterwards.
What we've seen in the past is drivers, as they get up in age, their performance falls off. But we haven't seen that with Matt Kenseth, and that was the frustration between him and Jason Ratcliffe and that 20 team. Those guys have been performing at a high level, but it's been little small mistakes and a lack of execution here and there that have kept them out of victory lane. They were one of the drivers that, if they got into the playoffs, were going to be a really strong contender as they got to Homestead. They did get in early on. They didn't make their way through it very long, but it wasn't because of performance, and that's the one thing Matt has still had that. Him and Dale Jr. have come in the sport together, and now they essentially are leaving in 2017 together.
Strange times, crazy times. We'll settle the championship this weekend at Homestead Miami. Later on in the program, Daniel Hemric will be here from the Xfinity Series. He's one of the championship 4. We've got on-track, off-track ahead, and a whole lot more. Stay with us.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
It's almost the most refreshing time of the day, Bush O'Clock, a time for relaxing and unwinding with friends and family over a crisp, cold Bush beer. Bush's roots are in racing, but whether you're enjoying the race or going fishing, nothing is better when it's time to relax than a crisp, cold Bush. It's Bush O'Clock, so grab a 6-pack of Bush beer for the cooler, start the grill, and relax. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bush Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm not blooming good, I'm blooming great. Put a shrimp on the barbie and sizzle my steak. Woo, I want that onion to bloom, and it get in my senses like a sonic boom. No rules, just right. So bold, so nice, and I'm so ready for that Outback steak tonight. Outback Steakhouse, that's what it's all about. Outback Steakhouse. Blooming great.
Talking about Matt Kenseth in turn number 1, off turn 2 for the final time, has 10 car lengths between himself and the side-by-side battle for second.
No lap traffic to deal with in front, and the mirror is getting smaller with regards to the battle behind him. Matt Kenseth hits his marks at turns 3 and 4 and sets sail for the front stretch.
Matt Kenseth becomes the spoiler today in the Arizona desert. He will win the Can-Am 500, and Brad Keselowski joins the championship 4 next week in Miami.
Matt Kenseth gets the victory when all looked like it was bleak and he was going to sail off into the sunset and not much be heard from him again. He gets the big win. That was Kyle Rickey, Buddy Long, and Joe Moore with the call from Phoenix Raceway.
Good job, Matt Kenseth. Woo! A huge
you guys should have found him and shook his hand after the race.
Every race, Brad Keselowski delivers a 6-pack of Miller Lite and a handwritten note to the driver. He was able to deliver that to the airplane at the airport for Matt's on his ride home. It's been a little touch, and it was a sweeter note that Matt got from Brad in appreciation of the fact that it did extend our season. It took it away from other people's hands, obviously, but we are very grateful for that, and it's an unusual circumstance that you are rooting for another teammate or a non-teammate, another manufacturer, another team, but the end result is we get to go to Homestead.
The circumstances played out, and that's exactly
right.
what we want to see. Let's talk a little on-track, off-track. The segment of the program where we discuss some things that are going well in the sport and some things that may not be going quite so well. For you, what's on track?
We look at 2017, we talk about these playoffs and all 3 series, and here we're going to Homestead, and we have 4 drivers contending for a championship in all 3 series. But when we look at 2017 and we see the playoff and what drivers are in it, we have a rookie in the truck series going for a championship with Austin Cindric. We have 2 rookies going for a championship with William Byron and our guest later on, Daniel Hemric. And then we've seen outstanding performances from our rookie class in the Monster Energy Cup Series with the likes of Eric Jones and Daniel Suarez, and I know there's a group of other guys, but it's been a really strong 2017. You know, I remember a couple years back, I want to say 2010, we had one guy going for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
You know, and it was really no competition. He was in a lower funded car, and he ended up winning the
Rookie of the Year.
The Rookie of the Year
Yeah.
because there was no competition.
Right.
These last three series have had such strong competition that really bodes well. I get we're losing Dale Jr. and Matt Kenseth. We've lost Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon to retirement, but we're getting a good group of strong, talented drivers that aren't just being rookies in the field, but they're competing already.
Yeah.
And that bodes well for the likes of Daniel Hemric and William Byron, who's moving on to a Cup Series ride next year with the Hendrick guys. Daniel Hemric coming back with Richard Childress. And then we see the likes of Chase Briscoe and Austin Cindric, Grant Enfinger, Kaz Growley. These are all guys in the Truck Series that are going to start filling those positions. So it's a really good core group of these young guys in our rookie class of 2017. I really, really believe will be one of the memorized as one of the stronger groups.
You know, I remember Dale Earnhardt Jr. talking earlier about it's all cyclical in the sport. He came in when some other guys, some established veterans, were at the end of their careers and moving out, and now that process is playing out with him on the other end of it, and guys like Matt Kenseth as well, and Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon last year. It's really good to see the cycle continue in a positive way. For me, the on track is the playoff drama. This is exactly what NASCAR was hoping for when they established this format. I know a lot of people still may not be on board with it or like it, but many of them who say the best team should win the championship, you might easily make a case for Martin Truex Jr., who's been the dominant team all year long, but the best team doesn't always win the Super Bowl. The best team doesn't always win the World Series. There's that drama of somebody rising up at the appropriate moment to seize the championship. And I think we're seeing that in all three series right now. And boy, did we have some drama. Friday night in the truck race, Saturday in the Xfinity Series race, and Sunday in the Cup race. That's the kind of, I remember Brian France at the time saying we want those Game 7 moments. Yep. And that's exactly what we're having right now, and I think it bodes well for the sport.
Yeah, no, you can't talk about the truck race on Friday without being excited, not just about the race, but the involvement of the guys that were in the playoff hunt and why these guys are making the moves, because they understand that this is their last chance. Mm-hmm. They're either going to make the move to the inside, as Austin Cindric did, or they're going to block like Ben Rhodes did. Mm-hmm. Both of those drivers, there's no animosity, there was no malicious intent on wrecking or blocking anybody wrecking. It's just the fact that the intensity's ramped up. You got that helmet on. You understand you've been racing all season since February. This could be the last chance for your championship, and you're all going for it. That's exactly what this scenario has created.
And you're spotting for Austin, right?
Yes,
and you
sir.
will be again this weekend. What's interesting to me is the emotion we heard from him after the race about how the whole organization has rallied, knowing that at the end of the season, Brad Keselowski Racing will be no more, and those guys will scatter looking for other opportunities and other jobs. But to hear the emotion from him for his team and his guys rallying in this moment, that's another item of the playoff drama we talked about that is so cool to see, that real raw emotion.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see many times a team going out of business in the beginning of the year, and Brad has other opportunities for the shop. But we don't see many opportunities where they compete at a high level while they're going out of business.
In the middle of all that,
We've already lost crew members at our team for the 19 and 29 because they're looking after their families for 2018 and beyond. So we're still able to maintain a high level of competition as we were actually going out of business.
Absolutely, and it's certainly fun to watch. Let's talk a little off track now. What's not going quite so well?
I'm going to be a little picky. Texas Motor Speedway a week ago somehow or another voted Chase Elliott as the People's Champ. We had banners up.
I don't know that there was a vote.
Well,
I think that might have been an Eddie Gossage production right there.
I'm not really sure how that occurred. But after Phoenix Raceway, I was a little surprised at their tweets kind of digging at Denny, kind of saying, well, he got what he deserved, and karma comes around. And they said a bunch of different things directed towards the negativity of Denny Hamlin. And it kind of caught me off guard, and it's not that I'm bashing Chase or I'm on Denny's side, but I thought from a speedway standpoint,
they kind of stay like Switzerland,
yeah,
neutral.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised at them voting Chase Elliott as the People's Champ.
Yeah.
Because we kind of forgot that he booted Brad Keselowski out of the way at Martinsville, and we've completely had amnesia over that. But I was surprised at how they kept piling on and almost cheering for the fact that Denny got what he deserved. It just kind of it surprised me in a way that I haven't seen other speedways do. I get it's Eddie Gossage, and those guys are they definitely dance to a different drum. We've seen that. in good ways and in bad.
I think fans kind of enjoy the back and forth of it. If one guy gets the advantage, they want to see the other guy come back and cycle that back around, and we certainly have had that. For me, off track is a little bit personal. It's going to be about our good friend Kyle Rickey from the Motor Racing Network. He jinxed us on Friday night. He was in the booth for the truck race, and as it was winding down, he went on and on about how we're zipping along at a good pace. We should be done in about 15 minutes, and everything's great. Three red flags later, we're still sitting there, and everybody on the crew is just hammering him on the headset. So my off track is Kyle Rickey for pulling that stunt. He should know better. You can jinx stuff like that.
It lasted as long as the Cup race.
Yeah, it really did.
It was a length of a Cup race.
Yes. It was fantastic. All right, we got to take another break on Motorsports Monday. When we come back, we'll talk some Championship 4 in the Xfinity Series. Daniel Hemric will be along.
I'm not blooming good, I'm blooming great. Put a shrimp on the barbie and sizzle my steak. Woo, I want that onion to bloom, and it get in my senses like a sonic boom. No rules, just right. So bold, so nice, and I'm so ready for that Outback steak tonight. Outback Steakhouse, that's what it's all about. Outback Steakhouse, blooming great.
It's almost Busch o'clock. A time for relaxing and unwinding with a crisp, cold Busch beer. It's the most refreshing time of the day. Wait for it. 3, 2, 1. Busch. Crisp, cold Busch. Enjoy responsibly. Busch Beer. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, Danica Patrick here. When I have friends and guests at the track who want to hear me drop pearls of wisdom during the race, I send them to Racing Electronics.
You all right back there?
I think so. I didn't, other than hitting a car, I didn't hit anything, but there's a tire down or something.
If you aren't listening to all the action live, you're missing out. Don't forget to rent a scanner or fan vision for the races. Go to racingelectronics.com to pre-rent for great discounts on your scanner and fan vision rentals.
Great pass for Christopher Bell for fourth, but at the front of the field, it is William Byron by 6 car lengths over Ryan Blaney to the back straightaway.
He has stretched that advantage out, as has William Byron. No traffic in front, and the rearview mirror getting smaller. Byron hits his marks and sets sail off turn 4.
Exiting turn 4, William Byron sees the checkered flag, and William Byron wins the Ticket Galaxy 200 at Phoenix.
The battle for the final berth. They used each other up. Looks like Daniel Hemric crosses the line in the 5th spot.
MRN Motorsports Monday. William Byron goes to victory lane in the Xfinity Series race at Phoenix Raceway over the weekend. But one of the guys who fought his way into the Championship 4 joins us on the guest line now. Daniel Hemric drove the Smoky Mountain Herbal Snuff Chevrolet, that Camaro for Richard Childress Racing, to a 5th place finish, and that's enough to make the championship. Daniel, welcome to the program. Have you stopped sweating yet? Because, man, that was a close battle between you and Cole Custer down the stretch.
Hey guys, good morning to you. Yeah, I stopped sweating about the time we landed back in Charlotte last night. It's about 35 degrees.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely an intense battle. One that I can kind of put in the memory bank is right up there, along with some bigger super late model wins. Just the intensity, running side by side. Just good short track racing, man. It was so much fun to do it with a guy like Cole, who's a stand-up racer and have a lot of respect for each other. So we had a lot of fun with it.
You know, Daniel, last year in the Truck Series, 2016, was really kind but kind of evil to you as well. Second points had the same number of points as the leader, but we missed the playoffs based on the point system and how it works. So now you go 2017 at Richard Childress Racing, and you get to wear the yellow stripe all year long. Do you think you've overachieved or underachieved for 2017, even though you're in the playoffs? Where do you guys think you stand relative to the other 3 guys?
Joey, really, man, if you'd asked me that question, a couple of months ago, I felt like at times, we could show that we could take whatever we were given that weekend and overachieve, not only on my end, but, we could have a good pit stops and we could have good strategy, and all that stuff would probably put us in a better finish position than what we had for average speed or whatnot throughout the weekend. And we did that several times, but we also figured out a way to mess a couple of the weekends up on my end as well. So with that being said, as a whole, as an organization, RCR, we know we've had some work to do as far as just the speed and trying to figure out how to make our cars, run at these racetracks and compete with some of these guys that are winning week in and week out. But I feel like, what's been really interesting is that the last probably handful of races, especially when we ran the composite bodies, we've kind of seen that speed differential narrow up a good bit. And with that, it gives everybody hope. And we didn't feel like we were having to, I won't say work as hard to make speed, but it allowed us to be more methodical in how we're racing and when to push and when not to push. And you're not always just hanging on, trying to get everything you get. So it's made the races go a little bit smoother. We got ourselves in some trouble by nothing of our own making. Texas kind of put us behind, but having that speed with the composite bodies, everything we had going for us going to Phoenix, and I felt like we overachieved, but we rose up to what we're capable of, and hopefully we can continue to do that and do it to another level next weekend.
As a rookie, one of the things you have to do as a driver is build that relationship with a crew chief, and you had 32 race season under your belt already, but 4 races ago you guys made a crew chief change with Randall Burnett. Where does that stand on your relationship with him? Have you guys, you're obviously going to continue building forever, but has it been accelerated anyway? What are you doing behind the scenes to really build that relationship with him?
Really, everybody at RCR is kind of a big family. I know everybody says that, but heck, we got 500 and some plus people on the complex, and we all see each other about every day, passing, crossing paths. And Randall came over earlier this year, so believe it or not, Danny Stockman, who crew chiefed the first 3 quarters of the year, and Randall always kind of had the closest baseline every weekend, if that makes sense. They really leaned on each other. So with that being said, myself and Randall and Danny were always communicating, and before the switch ever happened, with circumstances that we never saw coming, so we were able to take that change that had to be made, due to what happened, and take it with stride and really just kind of use it as an opportunity to, okay, this is good, but let's see if we can all work together, put both our heads together. Danny Stockman's been extremely involved back at the shop, as well as my engineer for the first 3 quarters of the year, Luke Mason, and he's been, all of them really just worked hand in hand, and it's made mine and Randall's relationship even that much better, because we're all an open book. We're all pulling the same direction. We're making sure that we all have the same goal in mind. That's just to do whatever we can as a group to make sure as a company we're going in the right direction. And it's actually been, I feel like, you never want to see something like that happen. You never want to lose your crew chief at the part of the year that we lost Danny, or none of that stuff. But I feel like it's made us better as an Xfinity organization at RCR, and hopefully it continues to show.
Tell me a little bit about what your expectations are for Homestead. First of all, were you guys one of the ones who did the testing out there? And what are your expectations for that track? A lot of guys are really hyped up about the progressive banking and talking about how much they love it.
Oh, yeah, everybody, all the racers love Homestead. I personally do as well. It's actually first place I ever ran a 1.5 mile race at in a truck in 2014, I believe. So I've ran there one more time than I have a lot of other racetracks, so that's going to be good information to fall back on. And yeah, we got to use one of our actually it was our last rookie test at Homestead. Myself, Cole Custer was there. I believe the 9 was there. We had a bunch of cars to go off of, and know a bunch of guys that we're going to have to beat when we go down there this weekend. But that place just it's an animal of its own. But you just got to go find grip as the racetrack changes, and obviously you're going to be up around the fence at some point. But I can remember last year in a truck, everybody went to the top and becomes the same speed. So we were actually able to make some hay around the bottom before losing the battery at the end of the race. My point there being is that there is no set way you got to get around that place. You can maneuver, make sure your car maneuvers in practice, do the things, and try to simulate the race as best you can, because it does change a lot as that race goes on. But we have high expectations, as a company going down there. Obviously, all you can ask for in the sport is a shot of any kind, and now the playing field's even, and we got a good shot of anybody.
I know we're all swept up in championship fever right now, but I wanted to back up a little bit because you've been getting some seat time on the Cup side. You did the test at Charlotte on the Roval there for Richard Childress Racing. You filled in for Paul Menard when he was on baby watch, and we were on standby there, got some laps, and then same thing for Ty Dillon this past weekend. What's that experience been like for you?
Truly unbelievable. I never thought I'd even have the opportunity to sit behind a Cup car and make a lap of any kind. So, the Roval test kind of got thrown on me. None of us really planned on it going down that way, and within about a 2 or 3 day notice, here I am in a Cup car making laps alongside McMurray and Kurt Busch and Martin Truex. So that was pretty cool, just to kind of sit back and look around and be like, this is just truly incredible, just where and how fortunate I've been to get where I'm at in life. And to do that, and that led to obviously Paul Menard and his wife Jennifer having and waiting for a couple of weeks for the birth of their second child. So that put me on standby for 3 or 4 weeks for those guys, and got to fill in and run some laps at Kansas, Martinsville, and Texas, and thought my job on my second job being a baby watch guy was over with until Haley, Dylan, and Ty are right on the cusp of having their first child, and so I've filled in this weekend, at Phoenix, and was able to make a couple laps with Jermaine Racing and just get comfortable just in case. And Haley still hasn't had the child, so I'll be in that role again going to Homestead in case something goes down. But really just really fortunate to be the guy that people are calling on, and that puts a lot of confidence in yourself and know those guys trust you to get in their race car. And with everything that goes into making organizations go around, just to put some random kid in a race car isn't exactly heard of. So, I try to be proud of the situations that I have going for me and try to make the most of them.
Yeah, the only guy that wasn't happy that you hopped in the Cup car was your motor tuner on the Xfinity side. Because it's about a 200 horsepower difference, and then you're going to get in that Xfinity car. I mean, this motor's terrible.
Yeah, it won't do anything.
I need some more motor like that Cup car. Daniel Hemric, congratulations on making the Final Four. Currently seating third, surrounded by the junior motorsports guys with William, Justin, and Elliott Sadler. Good luck in Homestead. We're pulling for you, bud.
All right, guys. I really appreciate it. Good luck with everything, and we'll see y'all down there.
Yep. There you go. Daniel Hemric, one of the championship 4 in the Xfinity Series, ready to run for the title at Homestead Miami this coming weekend on Saturday.
2 rookies battling Justin Allgaier and Elliott Sadler, who have been a stable in that Xfinity Series for a long time. These guys show up like, this is easy. I'm going for a championship, But we see Daniel, definitely different paths with William Byron and Daniel Hemric at 2 different companies, but the strength of Justin Allgaier and Elliott Sadler over at Junior Motorsports. It'll be an interesting avenue to watch how those 2 companies attack this, because Junior Motorsports, they're competing against themselves, right? So they're not going to really help each other as much as they can, but Daniel Hemric has the other people outside of RCR in the Xfinity Series that aren't racing, the Dylans of the world that can go help Daniel. And it'll be interesting to see how it moves forward and how they really attack that place.
Interesting note there as well. It looks like, as we sit here on Monday, that Justin Allgaier might not have his crew chief for this coming race because of a brake line that was found detached after the race. We're waiting for word on whether or not that'll be a suspension for Jason Burdett, Justin Allgaier's crew chief. Boy, you want to have all your bullets in the chamber when you compete for a championship, so we'll await word on that as well. We've still got more to cover here on Motorsports Monday. Got to talk some truck racing as well and put a bow on this thing as we get ready for Ford Championship weekend in Homestead, Miami. Stick around.
It's almost the most refreshing time of the day, Bush O'Clock, a time for relaxing and unwinding with friends and family over a crisp, cold Bush beer. Bush's roots are in racing, but whether you're enjoying the race or going fishing, nothing is better when it's time to relax than a crisp, cold Bush. It's Bush O'Clock, so grab a 6-pack of Bush beer for the cooler, start the grill, and relax. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bush Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm not blooming good, I'm blooming great. Put a shrimp on the barbie and sizzle my steak. Woo, I want that onion to bloom, and it get in my senses like a sonic boom. No rules, just right. So bold, so nice, and I'm so ready for that Outback steak tonight. Outback Steakhouse, that's what it's all about. Outback Steakhouse.
You're smart, got your own trucking business, making it happen. What if I told you there was a place online where you could connect with other smart owner-operators just like you? It's an online community called Team Run Smart, where people share advice on truck maintenance, fuel savings, healthy habits on the road, and so much more, all to make your business more profitable. And it's all free. Visit teamrunsmart.com today to check it out. You'll be glad you did. teamrunsmart.com, brought to you by Freightliner Trucks.
That's the battle for the number 4 position. Off turn number 4 for the final time, or turn number 2 for the final time. Johnny Sauter with the advantage.
John Hunter Nemechek dives way down below the yellow line in the dogleg, trying to make up ground on Johnny Sauter. He closes in 1 truck length now between turns 3 and 4. Johnny Sauter off turn 4.
John Hunter Nemechek will fall short of making the championship 4 as Johnny Sauter wins at Phoenix Raceway tonight. He'll win the Lucas Oil 150.
Johnny Sauter wins at Phoenix in the ISM Connect Chevrolet. He has 2 wins in this segment of the playoffs, one win at Texas and wins at Phoenix as well. Got all the momentum in the world. He will race against Christopher Bell, who's been the strongest truck pretty much all season long. Also, Matt Crafton, a 2-time champ, and the rookie, Austin Cindric, vying for a title on Friday night in Homestead, Miami.
Johnny Sauter is going to be tough, but the speed of the KBM trucks is going to be tough to overcome. So is it the youthful experience with speed or the crafty veteran Johnny Sauter, who won his first championship?
And Crafton, speaking of crafty veterans.
Oh, yeah. How many does he have?
He has
3 championships.
Yeah,
he's going to be really tough. And then you got the wily rookie, man. He's just sitting in there going, he has nothing to lose, right?
You call him that, wily rookie?
No,
you should. You should start that.
The wily rookie.
Yeah, you should start that. Like a hashtag or something.
He has a nickname for me as Big Bird.
Really?
Yeah, and
You want to explain that, or should we not go there?
I had a yellow truck in high school as a 55 Chevy.
How does he know that? He's a kid.
We talked about it.
Okay.
So the nickname of my truck was Big Bird.
All right.
And that kind of stuck.
So now he calls you that. All
Yeah,
right. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
See, for Halloween, you should have come in the Big Bird suit instead of just a cap like you tried to make like it was Halloween.
I had a very good costume.
No, you really didn't.
Watch. You can look at all the past shows, go back to the Halloween show, and look at my costume and understand why it was a really good costume. You didn't even dress up.
I dressed up as much as you did. I just didn't have a cap. That's all right. All right. Enough of that. Let's hear from Johnny Sauter after his victory at Phoenix on Friday night.
Johnny, your first career win at Phoenix. Last year you finished second. This year you won up it with a win. How does it feel?
It feels pretty damn awesome. I'm going to tell you. It's just can't thank these guys at GMS enough. Our ISM Connect Chevy was really good on long run. Those red flags at the end, I was a little suspect about it, but I knew if I got a good restart, I could get down into turn 1. That was my strong suit all night, was getting down into turn 1, and it set me up for a good launch off the corner. Just so proud of everybody at GMS. Chevrolet, Hendrick horsepower. Just that's fun. You know, when you can go back to back like that, it's fun. And especially at a place like this where I ran so well so many times and didn't have anything to show for it, to get a win, it's pretty awesome.
When you took the checkered flag, your crew chief, Joe Shearer Jr., said this is a championship team. Do you believe this is a championship team?
There's no doubt about it. I mean, this is the greatest group of guys I've ever been around. You said we didn't need to win. I felt like we did need to win. I mean, that's an exclamation point. And we just, like I've said last week, we got to stay humble and stay focused and go race our butts off next week.
Johnny Sauter sharing a little bit of insight there. A lot of confidence. Our pal Kim Kuhn in victory lane with him there, and he really has gotten progressively better through the playoffs. He knew there would be a couple of bumps in the road, but, man, he's turned it on at the right time.
Yeah, the parallels for me personally between Friday night and Sunday, we didn't need Hunter Nemechek to win that race because that was going to bump Austin Cindric out, and it appeared clearly he didn't have a chance to win. He was running 5th or 6th, and then a red flag comes out and he's running 4th, and then a red flag comes out and he's running 3rd, and then a red flag comes out and he's running 2nd.
Yeah.
With 2 laps to go beside Johnny Sauter. He had fresher tires. He had taken rights earlier. Johnny Sauter did not. If Nemechek wins that race, we're out as a team and 19 team. And, man, our whole season's in front of us. On Sunday, Chase Elliott takes the lead. We're out of the playoff hunt for Homestead. Oh, look, here comes Matt Kenseth, the dark horse. Da-da-da.
Kenseth to the rescue for you guys.
So it was a very emotional weekend at Phoenix, getting a rename next year with ISM Speedway, a complete overhaul. The track's going to flip. It's going to be all different. It'll still be Phoenix from the racetrack standpoint, but the fans are going to have a great aspect. But, man, now we get to go to Homestead, and I'm very grateful. I'm one of the few spotters in the deal that get to go for a championship in each division. Truck Series champion with Austin Cindric. We get to go for an Owners Championship. I got Sam Hornish, and then Brad Keselowski's going for a 2nd championship. It's going to be a really exciting weekend at Homestead. A track that goes from the bottom to top against the wall. Really, really exciting race.
Progressive banking, a lot of room for guys to search for the lane that serves them best. Make sure you're with us on MRN, the MRN app, MRN.com, all week long for all the stories leading up to Ford Championship weekend. Don't forget a free Bloomin' Onion today. It's Bloomin' Monday. We will be right back here for the finale of Motorsports Monday for the season following Ford Championship weekend. Make sure you're here with us. I'm Woody. He's Joey. We'll see you next week. Ford Championship weekend in Miami coming right up.
MRN Motorsports Monday is presented by Outback Steakhouse. Tune in every Monday for another exciting episode right here on MRN.com. Brought to you by Hercules Tires. MRN Motorsports Monday is also available on demand in MRN.com's Media Center, on our Facebook page, on YouTube, and in iTunes or the Google Play Store. MRN Motorsports Monday is a production of the Motor Racing Network.